If you're always exhausted from autistic fatigue, it's easy to think, well, this is just life now. Nope, it doesn't need to stay like that. I didn't get my energy back by sleeping more. I got it back by changing the way I lived. And in this video, I'll share 10 game changers that helped me go from this to this. And honestly, I haven't really seen these things in books or on other lists. Let's dive in. Cut down on social events. Really cut down. I stopped going to almost every social event. Not because I hate people, but because socializing is exhausting. Sure, it can be fun and having community is important, especially when you're neurodivergent, but peopling is exhausting. And honestly, when are we not interacting with people? In my work, I do it all the time. Now I've added more socializing gradually, but I'll never go back to doing things every weekend. And I can only do it in combination with other parts of this list. I'm not antisocial. I just give more thought to what I do and why. That started with tracking my energy and seeing how draining it was being around basically anyone except Debbie. And if you need help organizing this, I've got the exact template I use to track my energy. It's free for you to download. Links in the description. Grab it when you're done. Readjust your expectations, especially the unrealistic ones. Who made the rules for your life? Now that I think about it, me. You have a lot more control over this than you might realize, but it starts with understanding your own mindset. What are your expectations of yourself? I was full of rules for life that are actually completely unrealistic. But if you discovered you're autistic or have ADHD as an adult, it's time to unlearn a lot of those expectations and set new ones that can actually stick. Now, this isn't easy, but it gets easier over time and with other things on this list. Take control over your schedule. Think about your schedule and how you spend your time. You might not realize all the small energy drains that are lurking there all the time. If you haven't ever written out your schedule, do that now. For me, it's the transitions between things, running around to a bunch of places. But do I actually have to do that? No. I can schedule things. One day, every 3 or 4 to go into town. Do the shopping then or order online, and other errands too. Then it's not constant. My brain can focus on other things at other times, like projects for work or special interests. And don't forget to go back to number 1. If it's a busy month and you can only cut some of the social events, you're gonna have to cut other things. Or just cut all the social events for the month. That works too. The point is, once you start to realize which parts you control, it's easier to stop overdoing it. And usually a lot more is in your control than you might realize. Say no more often. That's exactly what it sounds like. Saying no means having boundaries and not focusing on pleasing other people. You can please people more when your brain is pleased first. At first, this can be a little uncomfortable, especially if you weren't someone who said no. Debbie likes to wake up sometimes and she wants to go into town because it's a beautiful day. And then she wants to go to a cafe and then a bookstore and then grab a few groceries and make an appointment for the weird thing growing on my foot at the podiatrist and then grab lunch. When I get home, I am exhausted. So now, if I'm not feeling up for it, I tell her that. And when we do go out on adventures together, it's a lot more enjoyable. Communicate your needs clearly. This one goes along with what we've talked about already. Practice communicating your needs clearly. For me, key lines help a lot. They're my fallback when I'm feeling drained already. I need quiet. I need to go home. My brain is on fire. That last one isn't very clear. And sending written messages rather than talking all the time really helps when I'm already tired. One short, concise text can save hours of discussion. That's energy back and less time feeling a little bit shy. So practice this. What are times when you're feeling exhausted? What could you say in the moment or as a message to communicate your needs? Try just one of these next time you're feeling tired. Go in with a plan, know what you'll say, and it's way easier when it's time to use it. Do a sensory audit and fix the things that drain you. Okay, if you aren't around other people a lot, you still can be exhausted. One way to help this is to understand your sensory needs. Do an audit of the environments you're in the most. Fix the things that drain you. That might be lighting, soundproofing, adjusting the temperature, or having comfier seating options. In my office, I have lots of shelf space to keep things very clean and organized. I have different lighting options, bright yet still warm. And I have overhead lights and lamps in all kinds of strategic places. I also installed soundproofing and have a really large air conditioning unit because I like it cold. I also have my comfy chair, the Dragon Bone chair. It's mobile, comfy and dragon-like sexy. That didn't make any sense. Think about the places where you have more control over the environment and spend the most time. Choose one sensory shift to make in that space. See how it feels with the adjustment. And keep going if you need to. You'd be shocked by how much of those little jabs of sensory input drain you all the time when you're autistic. Add low demand movement to regulate your nervous system. We've talked in other videos about exercise is important. And it is, especially for sleep and just keeping healthy. But it doesn't need to be intense. And if you're battling autistic fatigue, you can start with gentle movements. Walking, stretching, dancing, yoga. And this is coming from someone who actively avoided those things for a long time. You have to admit, yoga is pretty darn boring. I had it in my head that exercise needed to be intense, like boxing, which is awesome, by the way. But now I've realized my energy levels are more consistent when I just do movement. And a lot of those movements actually feel relaxing, which you really need when you're exhausted. And they're calming and help to regulate my nervous system. Sometimes a little too much. And when you're neurodivergent, your nervous system is constantly ramped up. That's part of why you're exhausted. So low demand movement, just a short walk or some stretches after you wake up, your brain and body will thank you. Notice where you're masking and how much energy it's burning. If you didn't know you were autistic, chances are you're part of the high masking autistic adult club. We're pretty stealthy, top secret VIP level. I mean, even to the point where most of us didn't even know we were masking. That's some really deep undercover work. Now's the time to notice where you're masking and also how much energy it takes from you regularly. The truth about masking is that you can't just stop doing it everywhere all at once. It takes time if you've lived a life where this was your normal. But you also don't have to sustain this level of masking. You've already done it for years. So notice where you're masking and the energy it takes. That's where our energy tracker comes in. So don't forget to grab that download. Noticing is the start, so you can plan adjustments. We have a bunch of videos about unmasking on the way, so hit subscribe to know when these are out. And give us a little like if you're enjoying this. I feel like my winks are a little off. Debbie, am I getting it? Am I getting it, Debbie? Is this? Keep consistent morning and nighttime routines. I shared my morning routine in another video before, so check that one out if you haven't yet. And it's a good routine, but sticking to it is a whole nother thing. Especially when your ADHD brain gets a wild idea and is in it to win it right before bed every single night. I've been sticking with my morning and nighttime routine for a while now, and oh my gosh, huge energy improvement. It's also easier to keep up with. My brain knows better when it's time to sleep. Most of the time. Easier to settle in. Doesn't always mean I sleep well. Easier to make sure I have enough time in bed. Man, do I need a lot of time in bed. And easier to wake up and start my day. Most of the time. And this is important. Keep it consistent. Even on weekends and holidays where routines might go out the window for some people. We're not some people who can change it up and feel fine the next day. Oh, no. Definitely not those people. We need to keep it consistent or plan far ahead if something will change that up. Otherwise, we'll be exhausted for weeks. Work with your energy patterns instead of fighting them. And this one could be the hardest of all. Working with your brain and your energy patterns instead of fighting them. I used to get so frustrated with myself and have meltdowns when I wanted to do things but couldn't. I wanted to finish a project. That was my plan. But I was so exhausted. Then I'd get mad that I was exhausted. I'd have a meltdown, exhaust myself some more, all because I had unrealistic expectations of energy. That was based on what I'd learned growing up. And most people seem fine every day. They keep going without huge spikes of energy or mass crashes. Not me. And not most autistic and ADHD people. But I didn't know that. So I kept pushing myself. And eventually, I pushed myself into burnout cycles that lasted years. Now what I've learned is to work with my energy. That's what the energy tracker is designed to do. Understand your patterns. Now I know if I push to finish a project, I might need a break after. Or if I'm masking a bunch while traveling in airports, I'm gonna need a chunk of recovery time after I arrive. Or if it's the holiday and there's a bunch of events, I'm gonna have to pay attention to my energy and not overdo it. I didn't know these patterns before, or I actively fought against them. Just keep pushing through. No. Pushing through is why you're exhausted. But you can get your energy back when you stop fighting it and learn to understand it. Then you can plan for these patterns, make adjustments, add buffer time, and regain your energy one day at a time. So if you're autistic and constantly drained, you're not stuck that way forever. Let me know in the comments which of these you'll try first, because you don't want to do them all at once. Start with understanding your energy. Grab the energy tracker and keep watching for ideas and learning for your unique brain.